You're listening to Deadbeat Daddy Podcast. Welcome to a mini episode of Deadbeat Daddy Podcast. We are doing a very special episode this week, and I'm actually dropping an episode tonight because I'm raising awareness for two amazing kids, Maya and her brother Sebastian. They've been ripped from their father and other family members by an abusive mother and a corrupt state system. The state system is legally forcing the kids from their safe and healthy parent to a undisclosed location at a reunification camp with their abusive mother. There are so many things wrong with what you are about to hear today, and any amount of support for Maya and her brother will help. I'd like to start off by saying that there are rallies happening around this, and I highly encourage anyone in the area to attend. If you actually visit the One Mom's Battle Instagram, you will find all of the resources around the rallies, when they're taking place, where they're taking place, and how you can help Maya and her brother. So I very much so appreciate anyone who does. And for the rest of us who aren't in the area, please share. Share. This inhumane, deliberate attempt to unify children with their abuser is disgusting. Reunification camps should not only be abolished, but they should be illegal, especially when you're withholding children from school and their livelihood. None of it makes sense. This is what I mean when I say children and fathers are ignored. Their word against their mothers holds little to no value, even when the mother is the culprit behind the alleged abuse, just like in Maya and Sebastian's case. So why? Again, because you're spreading your legs and you carry the child so it makes you the best parent? In fact, dads are doing a much better job at parenting than most mothers are these days. They have the ability to actually set aside some of that emotion and just be a parent. If we think about it, especially when the going gets rough, kids are taken away from their dads. Dads show resiliency and strength that many women cannot show. So this might be an unpopular opinion, but dads matter more, if not the same as moms. So now let's get into our episode dedicated to Maya and the strength that she's displayed as a teenager in fighting her abuser, the corrupt system, and all while being her brother's support each step of the way. I witnessed a very disturbing video on that Instagram page that I mentioned. And if you head to my Instagram for the podcast, which is Deadbeat Daddy Podcast, you'll find this video. And in this video, you will see Maya and her brother forcibly being taken from their safe home into a random vehicle to an undisclosed location. You see these men physically manhandle a 16-year-old girl and practically rip her clothes off. It's appalling to watch. I don't understand how transport services like this are legal. How can reunification camps be a thing? I don't understand any of it. And as I watched her being ripped away from her family members and treated like an animal, and same thing with Sebastian, her brother, so it actually got me thinking about how corrupt this family law system really is. If you think about it, they are not acting in the best interest of the child, because Maya is 16 years old enough to be heard by the court and by the judge. Her brother is old enough to be heard by the court and by the judge. And yet still, this judge has forced them into a reunification camp with their mother who has abused them. For those of you that don't know what a reunification camp or reunification therapy is, it's family therapy that aims to reunite or reestablish relationships, usually between a parent and child. And it will work on attachment, healthy communication, and healing of those injuries in the relationship. Now, I can understand reunification therapy in the sense of you needing to treat family or individual parental alienation. I don't understand it in the sense of you allowing children to be put back with the abuser. It's disgusting, but yet Somehow, reunification camps are a very real thing. They exist in California. Santa Cruz, California specifically, consistently violates children's rights because children will be ripped from their homes and no one will know where they are. Maya and her brother have been missing for 90 whole days. No one knows where they are. No one knows their whereabouts. No one knows if they're safe. No one knows if they've ate, if they're clothed, if they're healthy, if they're getting proper education. Maya is 16 years old and she has missed 90 days of school. Can we just talk about that for one moment? How crucial is school at that age? You are in high school. All of your moments count. And yet somehow, some way, they're allowing this child to go missing for 90 days and no one has a care in the world. The more that I read up on these reunification programs that range from certain number of days to certain number of days, these children are sent to reside with a parent who they allege abused them. Like, make it make sense. Maya spoke out on her own Instagram account. She contacted the founder of One Mom's Battle. She publicized everything she could with video footage, audio, through her friends, and yet still children like Maya and Sebastian are being ripped from their healthy other parent. And in this case specifically, we see a father's rights being actively abused. The court system does not care. Maya's friends have used the platform to gain support for them. They were there that day. They witnessed the violence against them. This friend of hers is afraid she's not coming back to school. She says, I don't know if I will see her again or how to reach her. I just turned 16 and I feel helpless and afraid. I can't stop thinking about how she was in terror and how they hit her in the face with the car door while they held her by her hands and feet. We are all devastated. I am writing about this and will post the story soon. Thank you from my heart. I'd like to bring some attention to some people Maya has identified. Professionals that are responsible for some of this are their gal, Brian K. Myers, the parenting coordinator, Sean McCall, the reunification therapist, Regina Marshall, their judge, Rebecca Connolly, and the reunification camp, Lynn Steinberg. And Tina has been helping organize protests on the steps of the Santa Cruz courthouse, the Watsonville branch. Dates and times are to be announced, which is why I recommend visiting her Instagram. But we're demanding justice for Maya and Sebastian. Please share far and wide. You can find all those details again on Tina's Instagram, but we're fighting for them. Maya and Sebastian's case actually sort of hit home because I've been there myself. I have witnessed a court system place a child back with their abuser and without a care in the world. Imagine seeing a child that's distraught, looks like hasn't been taken care of, needs a haircut, visibly dirty, and just flinching, consistent apology, offering everything up of their own as if it was going to be taken from them at any moment. I've witnessed a child that has been taken from an environment like that, brought back to health, and then replaced with their abuser. And this is the reality of the family court system. 50-50 is a standard, even with a 4-month-old. So I don't want to hear that a dad shouldn't be in a child's life, or a dad is not fit to be a parent, or mom is a better parent than dad. When women report abuse by a father in a case concerning child custody or visitation, courts believe them. Judges remove custody from the father and award it to the mother. So I'd like to end this with violence against men and lack of intervention and women's inhumanity to a man. And these types of atrocities are going on. These are big issues of our time, and we have to speak about them. We have to learn how to better understand how these things happened so that we can address them. I was told that mothers love their children more than anything else in the world, but now I see that some mothers love with their anger, ego, spite, and revenge more than their love for their own children. And we see that very much so in this case today, and many cases across the world. So for those dads out there, when you're told to shut down your emotion and you feel like you're losing all hope because decision making is being ripped from you, don't give up hope. They don't get to keep your child from a loving parent. They can try, but you're fighting a war. And if that's not exhausting, I don't know what is, but you will find that at the end of the day, your side of the story will come out and you will prosper in your relationship with your child. It may not be right now, but that time will come. So again, I always like to end this with a positive note. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a good night.